was the first introduction of Big Pun's career and Joe's career. You know what I'm saying? So they can't deny that. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, he'll probably try to deny it's somebody else. But I know, it was me. So at the end of the day, it was when we look at it, things like that, it's a beautiful story, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference right now. I'm concentrating on more of the positive things that we did. Because, when somebody do something to you and they're close to you and you hold them dear to your heart and they do something that's not that's foul. It hurts more. It hurts more than a stranger to do it to you. So that's why that this relation, and plus we built something that was beautiful. I was part of that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? And so I look at that. I rather look at that. And that was a change actually for Cuban Inc. 2017 and on. So I'm concentrate on that. Something, that they can't take away because that's part of the foundation. Foundation is the strongest shit. And that's why, the product went so far also because the foundation was solid. So later on it became a little unsturdy and they did what they did. But as far as the foundation, it was nothing but great times, man. Even though the bad times was there too, because I seen the hate in the back then, but the love overcame that. And, I thought that the love really overcame that. And since we created something so special, that hate wouldn't live there no more. As far as looking down on somebody because they were in the same level as you. There was a time there that we was really close, and I treasured that. You know what I'm saying? I treasured that.
When Big Pun passed away, is it safe to say that kind of, drew a division in the group? Like, take us back to that when it happened, and then how Terror Squad changed after that.
Oh yeah, of course, that was a big blow to all of that. To me, I took it. That was my brother, so that wasn't Big Pun to me, and that was something that, of course, it tore my heart off. You know what I'm saying? And I seen my brother go in the oven. You know what I'm saying? It was me, Liza, and the kids, and I seen my brother go inside the oven. You know what I'm saying? With the casket. So it's a whole different thing with me. Not even Joe was there when that happened. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, it's like I know the world lost a star, beautiful, you know what I'm saying, the illest Latino ever that ever gripped that mic and spit them lyrics like that. But I lost a brother to me, you know what I'm saying? So, Joe saw it. Joe lost a business partner. Joe lost, I guess, a friend, you know what I'm saying? If you consider him a friend after, the 20 years that's passed on and he acted the way he acted towards his family. So if you consider that, he could big him up all day, but Pun, everybody knew. And that was close to Pun that his most valuable treasures was his kids, how much he loved his kids. And you can say anything about Liza, about how much he loved his wife. So that's what I know that he put out there into the world. And Joe knows that. Joe knew that, Pun, but, he loved his family the most, especially that, you know what I'm saying? And maybe some of his family from his side of his real family, but Liza and the kids was number one to him. And to see all of that happen like that, even his kids go through that, where their dad was, made such an impact on a gender that took it to the next level. Like I said, it's always, if Pun was a regular rapper, it was a regular rapper. Sometimes you can get away with it. Oh, there's nothing there. But Pun was he's in the state, my dude. Like, he took that to the next level, man. He did what Biggie did. He did what Eminem did, in the white world. You know what I'm saying? Eminem took white people to be proud. It captivated the whole audience to make hip hop bigger. That's what Pun did with Latinos. Like, he invited more Spanish people because they felt proud now that they really an actual part of hip hop. Even though Latinos were part of hip hop since the beginning with the graffiti and the dancing. But now it was solidified that a vocalist, a lyricist, an MC will stand up, you know what I'm saying, the top in Mount Rushmore with the top, the top black MCs, bottom line, you know what I'm saying? Just like Eminem would. So he did that for that, you know what I'm saying, for that. And so that's bigger. That's bigger when you get to that. When you know what I'm saying, you do things like that. So, that's legendary. So, you know what I'm saying? And that should be treated, that's money for life, in other words, man. You know what I'm saying? That's money for life. And it's in the business side of it. Like I said, I'm not sure about Liza and Joe's situation with that, but yeah. And I'm sure, and Joe caked off. Like I told you, man. I said he was doing 50-50 with Pun. And that's what he was doing, 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Everything that Pun did was 50-50. We didn't know better. We didn't know the business. Like I said before, the best manager in the hip hop or music game gets 20%. You know, Joe was getting 50-50. So, you know what I'm saying? So we didn't even know. We didn't even know all of that. You know, we came in with that, with that kind of mentality, you know, 50-50 in the real man's world. That's fair. You know what I'm saying? But then you forget about, you got to pay the government, you got to pay the road manager, you got to do all of this, you know, so it's mad expenses. You know what I'm saying? Lawyer fees. So, you know, yeah, we came in blind like that, but, and we still, I mean, sometimes you got to, we started in the snake pit. That's how I like to see it, man. I like to, you know, call it like that in a business sense. You know what I'm saying? We started in the snake pit, and sometimes you got to get sacrificed like that to really make some monumental stuff happen. And as far as me, you know what I'm saying? And I seen it. I mean, they can't never do a Terror Squad movie when it came to business as far as like the music side without me. They can't. If they do, it's gonna be lies. That's it. It never comes out right. I seen documentaries that try to do is like, dog, stop, man. It's like, why lie, man? Why lie? Because even the controversy shit is real. So you know what I'm saying? Just why lie so much, man? Because it's such a beautiful story. It's like, wow. And it's just the egos, man, and greed. And I don't know, man. You know, it was so much fun when we was banging on the motherfucking project hallways, you know, spitting beautiful poetry. It was so much fun then. And we was broke as hell, drinking 40s and smoking weed. So that was the most fun time, you know what I'm saying? So
Flowers for the Dead. I want to ask you about that. Beautiful song. How come Tony, was you cool with Tony Sunshine at that point when you put Flowers out? How come you wasn't in the song? Just curious.
Because it wasn't it wasn't meant to be for him to be in that song. Basically, thinking back, I mean, that was a song that I did that song before Pun even passed away. So see that song, that was just a beat that I picked. I forgot who did the beat too. But anyway, I had like a beat tapes, and I picked some beats, and I was going through the beats with Domingo, and I was in my studio session. Domingo was the actual dude who sang the hook. He's a salsa singer. He never had done English music before that time. So I seen that, I heard that song, we heard that beat, and we was like, yeah, let's do that one together. Because, you know, he wanted to do like a English joint. He wanted to do something in my album. So I was like, yeah, because he was dope. Like his voice was dope. And, you know, I felt that beat somehow. Then we started doing, because that was the Young and the Restless. Ding, 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 ding. So we had to pay for that sample. But then I just started humming the shit. And he started doing the backgrounds and shit. And then, you know, gave us like an hour. You know, I wrote the hook and he was singing. I was coaching him with it. And we didn't even know what the hell we had until we really, like, I heard this nigga just singing inside the booth, and I heard his voice, and I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? As far as like how he takes it, it makes, you know, he brought that out of it. And it was a magical moment, man. But at the end of the day, Pun heard that song. Like, that was just Flowers for the Dead. And I got that because of everybody at that time was doing like a rest in peace song. And I came out with that, but the artist, I forgot the artist with the. Anyway, my favorite like rest in peace song was DRS. You know what I'm saying? Gangsta. So I wanted my album to be like shaped to that. You know what I'm saying? Give respect to the dead. Give respect to the homies we lost. You know what I'm saying? It was a big thing to throw the 40 over and spill some 40 for the homies that passed away. So I had never lost somebody when it, you know, as far as my inner circle when it was close to me like that. So even Pun heard that. I played it for him. That was one of the first 5 songs that got completed. So I went to Punch Studio. I think it was a Sony's, and I let him hear my 5 joints. It was Still Telling Lies. It was Hey Mama. It was Flowers for the Dead, but it wasn't dedicated to Pun. You know what I'm saying? It was never dedicated to Pun. And then I remember it was him and Liza, his wife, inside the studio, and I played that song, and he was like, "That shit is dope." He looked at me and was like, "That shit is dope." And then I stepped out, and then Liza came to me and said, you wrote that about him, right? I said, hell no. What you talking about? I wrote it about him. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just like the first verse, like to him, we've been best friends ever since we were little kids. Like all of that shit, like was there. Like that was there, that first verse. I changed the second verse. I changed the second verse. Second verse was about a chick that died in a car crash in the original one. And the last verse did the same. So the only thing I changed was make it more to pun after he passed was the second verse, but the first shit was right there. And I was like, nah, you crazy? I was just, I'm the type of, I just envisioned myself going through that emotion of me losing somebody I love, and I go deep when I start writing. But yeah, she had asked me that. I said, hell no. And then later on, he passed away, and I dedicated that to him. That song.
That's great.
And it fits so crazy, like it's perfect. It's eerie to me, man, to this day.
Yeah.
Then I don't want to even think of myself like, it was a premonition. It was me that I'm fucking like, you know what I'm saying, predicting the future. I don't want to think of that shit like that, because it's like that. If I had the power of that, I would have never. What about if I didn't do that song and maybe he wouldn't have passed away? So it's like crazy. It's like, don't tell me that shit. But it was that crazy and that eerie. And yeah, Tony Sunshine. He was in a lot of songs in my 24K. He doesn't take acknowledgement to that to this day, but I put him in a lot of songs, so he could say that Joe was the one that brought him out or whatever, or Pun, which Pun was, but I was before Pun. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I was the one that I was working on my album, and I was fighting for actually Tony when it was Terror Squad album. So it was a lot of things, but they don't want to remember it because I don't think they're allowed to. And some of them already chose to say, fuck Cuban Link instead of, embracing the fact that Cuban Link was a part of their actual beginnings. And Cuban Link did a lot for them, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Because I was definitely one of the first three MCs that represented Terror Squad and was out there like that. And we did a good job, man. We did a good job instead of all the bad stuff, behind the scenes stuff. But we was out there. We put a picture on that. That was a beautiful picture for the world to celebrate.